My name's Agatas, and several months ago, I bought a $700 BMW motorcycle at auction and tore it apart to fix everything wrong with it, as well as upgraded it with cheap parts from China, and then set sail on a 7,000-mile road trip across the United States by myself. And this is the entire journey in one video. I just want to take a second to thank everyone who donated along this entire journey, as well as the people that kept watching and keeping me motivated the whole way through. All of you are absolute legends, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
All right, guys, this is it. I've been planning this for like a year, and I have been very actively working on it for the last 6-7 months. From finding this cheap bike, to rebuilding this bike, to upgrading this bike, trying to figure out what I need, what I don't need, to making more money and trying to figure out, you know, whatever it takes to make this happen. And this is it. This is day one. And it feels a little unreal. I'm leaving a lot later than I'd really like to, but I just, like, I forget this, I need to do this, and like, I stayed up late editing that video from what will be for you guys last week. And so, you know, it's just not optimal time to leave, but I also picked the coolest day of this week, which is still 105 degrees. So yeah, cool for me, because I've been riding in 115 every single day. So big difference. I don't like highways. I don't want to take the highway, but I want to get out of this heat. So we're just gonna break my rule here, where I don't want to ride highways, and we're just gonna get out of this heat, you know, make it to first to Slab City, then go to San Diego, and from there, way easier, life will be better, only back roads, no freeways. I want to see the streets, I want to see the people, I want to see anything I can see that I can't see if I'm going fast on the freeway and focusing on not getting killed. I appreciate every single one of you that's joined in for this journey. I didn't expect to have you guys here, and it makes things even better and even cooler for me. So I really do appreciate you. Love all your guys' comments. I'm trying my best to respond, but now you guys have a lot of them, so it takes me a minute. So just, you know, eventually I will probably respond to your comments. Just give me some time here. Well, I can't really say much else. I'm hot. I'm in better gear, but still 105. So we're just gonna hit this highway. Let me explain this trip a little bit, and I will meet you when we stop.
So the whole point of this trip at its core is to escape the heat. I've lived in Phoenix for 5 years now and can't stand the summer, as I like to do things outdoors, drive old cars, and ride motorcycles. I have also wanted to take a solo motorcycle trip for years now, so that's what you're witnessing here. After about 2 hours, I took my first stop at a gas station. I was going to take some drone footage, but the drone didn't exactly agree with me, and I had to recover it.
First stop was super easy. Riding the bike was not that bad. I just don't like highways. Retrieving the drone was the worst part of it, this entire part, and I'm sweatier from getting that than I am riding. We have about 2 hours, and then we will be in Slab City, and we're gonna see what happens there. Also, no more drone till I go to a Best Buy. So sorry about that, guys.
So to get to Slab City is about 250 miles for me, and we stopped about halfway at that gas station where we lost the drone, which really sucks, but I'll figure it out.
This is the kind of riding that I came for. I wanted to go out somewhere in the middle of nowhere. These old roads, I mean, like, people used to travel on these before there was freeways, like, and I picture someone riding in the 60s in a car from the 40s, just on these long narrow straights, and it's just so much more beautiful than the freeways here. So I'm excited to get this riding done.
As I continued down these remote roads, I had no idea that I would shortly reach the glamorous sand dunes. The reality of this trip really wasn't setting in just yet. It all felt so unreal, and it had been years since I did a big trip on a bike. I was enjoying every single moment of it though. Once I started to reach the outskirts of Slab City, it was almost like seeing modern day ruins. It had me worried a bit from all the negative videos I had seen online, and for anyone who doesn't know, Slab City is supposed to be the last free place in America with no laws. I was really prepared for the worst and finally reached Salvation Mountain. Salvation Mountain was built by Leonard Knight over 28 years using tires, hay bales, adobe, trash, and whatever else he could find. There's truly something magical about it, and I was happy that I finally got to visit it.
What do you think? Should I camp here? Is it safe?
It's safe, but tomorrow's probably pretty miserable. Those are the words out
Horse flies?
Yeah.
The more I learned about this place firsthand, it really didn't seem as bad as everyone said. It really wasn't that much different from anywhere else. The main principle being don't mess with other people's stuff and you won't get messed with. I continued onward into Slab City itself with a much better energy than before. I soon found out how empty it really becomes in the summer, but I was pretty excited to check out the library regardless. I was honestly really impressed. It was a really amazing place to be, and I had heard all these rumors that this place was filled with sex offenders, but it seemed that the locals were against it. I ended up finding a good book and continued on. There was an internet cafe that I wanted to visit, but no one ended up being there. So I decided to continue the journey and that I need to come back to this place in the winter to get the full experience. When you visit Slab City, it's pretty much essential to visit Bombay Beach as well. But on the way there, I saw this building full of graffiti and had to stop. I've always seen graffiti as modern day hieroglyphs and really enjoy trying to trace the meaning or mindset behind some of this art. After a short journey, we made it to Bombay Beach.
This place is super cool. And it doesn't smell as bad as everyone's been saying. The only mistake I made so far on this journey is not allocating enough time to do this and Slab City. Slab City is worth coming back to though, just because it was so dead, because no one really is there in the summer. I don't have much time to stay here because I still need to ride into a town, get supplies, and then still find a camping spot. But I'm gonna go take some nice videos of random stuff around here. So bear with me.
I'm just playing with them now, yeah.
I had to walk through dookie sand to get over there. My boots are gonna smell nasty now.
Alright, so I was planning on ending up in Borrego Springs to find some dispersed camping, and that easily adds another 100 miles. The sun was starting to set, and I was a little worried about finding somewhere to sleep in time, but I ended up finding a cool spot about 20 minutes north of the town, and I headed that way.
Yeah, we're not doing a cooking video. I rode for 8 hours. I ain't got the energy for that. We're having a boy dinner tonight.
This is usually where I end the videos, but this time's a little different.
Guys, it's 10 o'clock at night. I can't, I'm gonna be honest, I'm all about budget, but there's a level of comfort that it's worth spending a little bit of money on, and I cannot sleep. I'm soaking wet in sweat in this tent, and at this point I just like, this is the only night it's gonna be this bad. It's still like 90 something degrees outside, and I just can't, like, you know, I'm not trying to prove anything here. I'm not trying to say, oh, I can do this. Like, I'm trying to enjoy myself. I'm gonna pack up. It's not worth it to me. Like, I was sweating all day. I already soaked one shirt full of sweat, and now I'm trying to sleep, and I'm soaking another shirt full of sweat, and it's just like not worth it to me. The heat is something else. That's my number one enemy. I'm giving up on this campsite, even though it's super cool, great location, love the views. This is definitely a winter camping spot for sure, not a summer one. All right, well, I'll meet you guys at the hotel. All right, so after getting to this hotel, we will add another 50 miles and another hour of travel time. At first, I was a bit annoyed, but I ended up having to go on to some amazing roads that really made up for it. So it's day 2. Things have not been going how I originally planned. Of course, how else would it go? You guys gotta bear with me for like the first week. This chair is so squeaky. You guys gotta bear with me for like the first week. I'm still figuring out like a ritual and a schedule for all this. And then I had a trip originally planned, and now there's wildfires in some of those places, so I have to like replan. This trip's a mess, but that's the point, and it'll lead me to some cool stuff. At least that's the goal, that's the hope. Right now though, I gotta take care of some things, because these boots are the worst boots I have ever worn in my entire life. And so step 1 will be to exchange them. Then step 2 is gonna be trying to fix the drone. It looks pretty bad though. Like, the case is cracked, because at the minimum it needs propellers. And like right now I'm trying to figure out how to move footage over so that I can clear up space on the Insta360, because right now it's got like 400 gigabytes of stuff already on there. Oh man, if I have several days of this, you know, it's gonna be a little rough. Regardless though, I'm out of the heat now, so I'm happy. So let's start another day here. As of now, the goal was to get to San Diego so I could take care of my problems, stop at Cycle Gear, stop at Best Buy, and anywhere else I needed to. After stopping at Best Buy, I got an adapter I needed to finally use my FPV mount, and I was so excited I forgot how to speak.
It's got a whole lot of dildo.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get stuff to fix my drone, but I did end up getting new boots and decided it was time to stop at a beach. It is a little weird walking down the beach in full gear. You get some strange looks for sure. It didn't matter though, because I had made it to a little slice of heaven. Bird up! I was pretty happy, if you couldn't tell. All good things have to come to an end, and I needed to make my way towards a place where I could camp ASAP. I was planning on camping near Palomar Mountain and ended up spending too much time on the beach, so I really needed to skedaddle. I listened to your guys' advice about the external gas tank and decided to only ride with it full when I really was worried about range anxiety, and immediately ran out of gas.
Ran out of gas. Yeah. I would, if you could, it would make my entire day.
Luckily, I had the pleasure of meeting Dan the Man. Dan, without any hesitation,
took me to the nearest gas station, and even took me back after he was the last one to leave his work. Like, what a legend. I was so grateful for Dan's help, but I was getting worried about making it to my campsite before it got dark. That's when Dan offered me to stay on his property. I had to go to Walmart for supplies beforehand, but afterwards headed towards Dan's place, and the road up there was probably one of the best roads I've ever been on. I don't want to dox Dan and his property, so I won't be showing the route I took. Life is weird, and this is exactly what I wanted for my adventure. Fun fact, Dan has survived a freaking plane crash. Like, what a legend. Give some love for Dan in the comments. I ended up talking to Dan and his wife for a while, but I still really wanted to do a cooking video, so this is what I got. Finally got tortillas.
Road is so beautiful, guys. I seriously think this is the best road I've ever driven on. Like, scenery, the quality of the road, like, there's like very little traffic, maybe at least the day I'm here, but this is a gem, and I would have never found it if I didn't talk to strangers, and I would have never talked to that stranger if I didn't break down. So there's pros and cons to everything, and you just never know. You know, stuff happens for a reason, and I'm so happy that this happened, and I got to meet Dan and Crystal, who rocks. That's how I'm remembering their names. That's how I remember people. But I just want to say thank you to them again, because I know they're going to be watching this video. Dang! The whole peacock right there. What up? Who's having a good day? But guys, look at this road. Look at how great this road is. I could drive this all day. This is what I'm here for. And look at this view. There's just like greenery and avocados and citrus fruit everywhere. The air smells delicious.
Okay, so honestly, I wasn't really sure where I was, but I knew that I was heading towards Palomar Mountain, and Dan told me that the guy who engineered this road was a motorcyclist and that this road was designed for bikes, so I was pretty excited.
Yeah, this one's sharp. Ah! I scraped my boots for the first time. And like, this is road. Dang, look how a lot of sport bike scraping.
I pretty much reached the top and had to get going since I had a decent amount of riding to get done today. I wanted to go see the transmission statues north of Palm Springs and didn't really know what I was getting myself into. As the temperature started to rise, I had to stop to take a break, and I quickly filled my mouth with nuts and rehydrated so I could continue on. Before I knew it, I was in Palm Springs and it was 113 degrees and I was once again suffering. This lady for some reason was super upset at me for lane splitting, so I had to hit her with the We then proceeded to have a very civil dispute at the light.
Oh, this was a bad idea. I was planning on stopping here and resting for a little bit. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm going straight to Big Bear Lake. I can't. The whole point was to escape this heat, and I put myself right back in it. Massive regret.
This road up to Big Bear turned out to be the absolute windiest road I had ridden on this entire trip, and it broke the mount for my Insta360 pull, and I had to fight to pull over going 65 in order to save it. Now I was stuck with only a few angles. I ended up pulling over to swap batteries and change camera angles, and being that I was in a rush, I left a box full of stuff on the top of my bike. And just to stay consistent, that's about another 2 hours worth of riding for me just to get up there.
I messed up pretty bad, guys. He said there was gonna be a beach here. Anyways, I was using my portable charger to charge my actual camera batteries, and apparently when I was at the gas station getting gas, I moved it outside for just a second, and I didn't put it back in. So I have no batteries for my camera anymore. I lost the charger, and I lost the portable charger. I am a little bit bummed about that. I also was told there's gonna be a beach here, and there's no beach. Just kind of swampy water. I don't know if I want to dip in here anymore. My heart's just getting broken left and right. I have a feeling if I swim in this, I'm gonna stink more. I don't know if I want to do it. Yeah, it smells a little funk. I don't know if I jump in, I'm gonna smell funky. If there's a better spot to go in, maybe I'll go. Let's see. This seems a little bit nicer. I should just do it. Why not? I'm already here. I went and took a dip in the lake, and that made me feel better. But when I was out there, I soon realized that there was a chance that I left the SD card that I was recording on this Insta360 in that case thing, everything that I lost at the gas station, and I got so broken. Like, that's more valuable than anything. Like, forget the batteries, forget the charger, forget the cables, forget all of it. Like, that can be easily replaced. It just costs money and it sucks. But I thought I lost the footage, and I was like beyond broken. I cannot describe how bad I felt. And here, check this out. That little guy right there, that's the SD card. So thankfully I didn't lose it. I feel so much better knowing that I didn't lose it. Like, it would have been all for nothing. I had days. So yeah, I was gonna be devastated. But you know what? We're gonna make the most out of this. I'm gonna try to figure out, like, the Insta360 is not that bad at recording. Like, the quality seems to be pretty good. I think it's actually filming in 4K, so even better quality. And I have that mic, this mic hooked up, so I'm probably gonna start using that. So stay tuned, guys. Man, my funds are gonna get diminished. They shall be ravaged. My poor wallet. Ravaged, ransacked. R.I.P. Let's hit it.
My glove rip too. I've been just going through it. Plus the drone. It's all good, guys. It's all good. I'll figure it out. I don't know. I just won't eat for a couple days or something. If you were curious, that's a chickpea curry that I made. time, we checked the oil, make sure it's got oil in it. That's good. Tire looks good, feels good. I never checked the front tire. That's good. Okay, we're probably good. There we go. All right, let's go. Forgot to ride. All right, guys, if you've been keeping up so far, I officially am down one drone. My DSLR batteries are gone, which makes my camera useless. The power bank that lets me do time lapses with the Insta360 also gone. The invisible pole mount for my bike done, broken, and an SD card adapter that I use to transfer footage onto my computer all gone. So bear with me because I did end up ordering replacement stuff and will be picking it up here soon. On today's journey, we're going from Big Bear Lake to Malibu, where there's a really cool RV park that you can rent a campsite from. Before I went there, I needed to hit the beach though. I was really excited about the beach, but soon found out that it was extremely rocky and I had picked the worst beach for swimming, so I really didn't stay too long. The Malibu coastline was an awesome place to ride. The air felt great, always something nice to look at. And I was excited to see this camp spot in person that I'd been looking at online for months. When I got there, it sure didn't disappoint. So far, this has been the chillest day of the journey, and I had something special planned. While I was cooking, I ended up making some new friends.
Just to light ours.
Oh,
Or do you have a lighter?
Like, you know, I was like excited because like I wanted to spend the money and like do a surf and turf. That was the whole point of.
Surf and turf is just surf and drive away and surf again? Or?
It's my honor to introduce you to
In Malibu, I was gonna do like the camp in Malibu and do a surf and turf, and then from here, Rainier. That's it.
these two legends came from Germany to ride bicycles from Los Angeles all the way to Vancouver. That's so insane. They came up to me needing a place to stay, and of course I let them share my campsite. We ended up talking for a bit, and I finally got to finish my surf and turf.
I told you guys. Literally, this is what I did it for.
Alright guys, so I'm going to be straight with you. I legit ran out of space on all my SD cards. That's 1 whole terabyte of video I have taken. So I was looking for a coffee shop that I could spend a couple of hours in and had no luck in Malibu, but found a Starbucks inside of a university.
The Starbucks is downstairs. It's a whole adventure to get there. And I came back to grab my case and forgot my keys, of course. So let's go all the way back there, grab my key, and come back. forgot my chargers. We're back at it again. Jesus.
Amazon then proceeded to tell me that my package was delayed, and I stared at this stupid bar until 6 p.m. I was there for 10 hours. After I picked up the package, I was in an extreme rush because I was planning on staying at a dispersed camping site along the Pacific Coast Highway, and that was about 5.5 hours away from where I currently was.
This road is nice. It's gonna get so much colder when that sun goes down. Guys, you gotta understand me. I came from 115 degrees to it's half of the temperature right now. My body's not built for this. I'm freezing. Alright guys, before I go any further, I need a hoodie. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, where I'm gonna be sleeping, but I cannot do this anymore. I am freezing. It's like, okay, what is that? It's like under 60. Right now it's 59 and it's still like not even, it's only 8. Like imagine at 10. Oh my god. I think the moisture in the air is also not helping.
So I continued onto the coastline and was getting very close to my campsite. I took this cool photo where it looked like I was above the clouds, but soon found out that all the campgrounds were locked down.
Well, it appears that I have fucked up. I feel like I should go back.
I then traveled 2 hours to a Motel 6, which I soon found out was fully booked because of a fare. So I had to settle for an even worse motel for more money.
This motel is disgusting. I just want to get out of here, honestly. It's so gross. I didn't even sleep under the sheets. Everything just kind of nasty in here. But, you know, we just got to overcome obstacles. And the further we get up, the easier it'll be to camp. Definitely threw me off guard when all of the camping places were closed. And hotels over there were like $300 a night, and I couldn't do that. And a lot of the stuff was actually booked, so I don't know. This was a journey.
I ended up getting a coffee at the local downtown and quickly stumbled upon a side quest.
When I'm confused, I ask questions, and the more questions I ask, they get mad. Like, they want you to be a bitch. Yeah. It's like the fucking world. You think the world's round or flat?
This is Cyrus. He was a cool guy I met who told me about some lady who apparently ended up in this small town from Hawaii because of divine spirit, and honestly, I was just interested, so I just went with it.
Someone just, you know, maybe started a campfire, and then it got out of hand.
Yeah, all the way down at the back.
He seems chill, or she seems chill. We got a whole garden.
What are you doing? I met this guy. He's from Arizona.
Nice to meet you. How'd you end up here?
I'm just visiting. It was a double rainbow. It was like night, cold, overcast, windy. There was like a double rainbow over there. My friend did. Anyways, 2 months later, I ended up moving right here where the double rainbow was.
That's crazy.
That's how I got this spot though.
Dude, he's good though.
Hell yeah.
Oh wow.
Dude, that's crazy. Just right here on the side of the road.
That's what I'm saying. Like, wait, you want to take the towel place?
How did this place become racist?
Because the owner, he was just like hella into like witchcraft and shit.
It's crazy. Builder, publisher, inventor, artist, visionary. Damn, that dude's Tinder profile hits.
Just come in here and get one.
I just want to say thanks again to Cyrus, who gave me the greatest tour I could have ever asked for. And at this point, it was time to head to Fresno, where I found a cheap Airbnb that I would stay in and edit the 5 videos you have seen this week. I made it to Fresno with no problems, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm pretty exhausted from editing, and I really hope you enjoyed the video so far. Alright, new week, new day. It's already like 80 something here in Fresno, and it's only 7 in the morning, so I don't want to spend too much time here. We're going to be driving through San Francisco today, but I've never ridden across the Golden Gate Bridge, so I think that's worth paying a little bit of money for and doing. What we're really doing today is trying to make it to the Usal road, which is like an off-road thing, and then there's beach camping at the end of it, or in the middle, I don't know. I haven't done too much research, like a lot of this trip, so we're gonna see how that goes. I want to thank my Airbnb host, Andy, super cool guy, and we had a conversation, and it kind of made me feel a certain way about the trip, and the fact that like when I first started this trip, I wanted to get away from everybody and go to the middle of nowhere and camp and eat and, you know, read my book and just be like done. And starting to realize that's not really what I want in this trip, and all my best memories and the best part of this trip have been the people. I'm just trying to make more connections, I guess, and I think it'll make more interesting videos, because you guys don't even get to see the other half of stuff that I don't record, you know, which I'm trying to get better at too. So bear with me, guys. We learned a lot from last week, and this week should hopefully be better. Let's get out of Fresno because I'm hot. Today's ride is going to be a bit of a long one for sure, but I have to speed up travel times a bit since I spent a big part of my budget already. I was riding through a lot of farms and decided to stop and grab some fruit. Some of the best tasting fruit I've ever had at that. Yeah, boy. I almost forgot to get gas again. This whole area just smelled like garlic for some reason, but regardless, we were on our way to San Francisco. In no time, I had arrived in the Bay Area and got stuck in traffic and had no space to lane split with my behemoth of a GS. In short time though, the moment had finally arrived. I spent about 2 minutes just screaming and yelling and fist pumping, and it was great because this bike had made it all the way to San Francisco. Isn't that crazy? This was a $700 bike, and now it's so far from home. After taking a quick break, ended up getting a little bit more gas, and we were off. I had about 3 hours left to get to the actual road that takes you up to the campground, but it was no problem. The last paved road up there has to be one of the greatest roads I'd ever driven on, and made going off-road even more exciting. I'm telling you guys right now, if you have the ability to go here, you should do it. I legit don't know how I'm gonna top this one. This trail was the perfect level of difficulty. It was challenging enough to where you had to be focused, but not so tough that you're exhausted and worried about breaking stuff. I had this vision in my head about making it to the end of the beach through the sand and really wanted to make it happen. And, you know, I did it, but buried my bike in the sand during the process. In the moment, it felt worth it, and I was happy until I couldn't get out. Luckily, I did have some help. I'd like to introduce one of the people that helped me, Ernie. Absolute legend with that super sick setup behind me. I spent a second admiring this amazing campsite and then set up my own camp. I then went and thanked the Germans that helped me out too. Can't forget about them. I was gonna do a nice cooking video right here. Problem is there were no major stores around me, and when I stopped at this local market, they didn't have much. I saw this can of Spam and thought, hey, I've never cooked with Spam, so let me give it a shot. So I tried making like Spam fried rice. It was hella windy, but I got it done. And yeah, I will never be eating Spam ever again. This place was so beautiful, and I wish I could have stayed longer, but unfortunately I couldn't. I ended up having a great conversation with Ernie, and people started lighting fireworks off, which made things even cooler. My man Ernie had a portable camp stove and some firewood that made things even better and made me want to buy one. But anyways, guys, this is where my day ends, and as always, I appreciate you watching.
You enjoying the view?
Waking up on the beach was a pretty awesome experience. I packed up camp, I went and grabbed some local breakfast, and was on my way out with my new friend Ernie.
It wasn't that good.
We had met two other motorcyclists and were planning on leaving with them, but we couldn't find them, so we just continued on. We were making good progress, and unfortunately we had a little hurdle.
You alright?
Luckily, he was all good, and all I could think about was about how heavy this bike was to lift up, and that my bike was probably 200 pounds heavier. So, yeah, definitely wasn't trying to drop my bike for sure. Riding out was extremely enjoyable, and I was honestly just trying to take everything in.
Oh, the sandy parts, that's what messed me up. My back tread's getting low.
In no time though, the trail was over, and it was time to say goodbye to another legend. Luckily, I had an incredible road to ride out on. I soon passed through the Redwood forest and got to see some big ass trees. And it was pretty great, honestly. Eureka! Was where I was heading because I needed a place to stop in order to figure out where I was going next, and it was about 2 hours away. I guess 2.5.
Alright guys, so Usal Road was probably the greatest motorcycle road I've ever done in my entire life. And it really sucks because I don't know how I'm gonna top that. Well guys, I'm gonna get gas and then we're gonna head towards this next campsite. This is all a lot of riding for me, so I am definitely a little worn out. But nothing we can't handle, and I'd rather be doing this than working.
With very little research, I decided it would make sense to go to Mt.Shasta, which was about 4 hours away. And I quickly started to find out that Central California can get as hot as Phoenix. Temperatures started to get up to 113 degrees. And the road I was taking was full of construction. And I had to sit many times for 10 minutes, sometimes more. And I was getting really over it. So here we are again. It's 108 and I just am done. I did not sleep good yesterday. I was so cold last night. I could barely sleep. And now I'm out here sweating again. My body does not know how to handle these conditions right now. And I don't know, I have 2 more hours till I get to kind of where I'm gonna be camping tonight. And it was like I saw this river. I was like thinking about jumping in it the whole time. Yeah, I don't know. I decided to pull over, and it was meant to be. And now I'm gonna jump in because I'm so hot. After jumping in, we continued on, and then immediately had to sit for 15 minutes cooking in the heat once again. My original plan was to camp near one of the lakes at the base of the mountain, but when I was arriving, it was 105 degrees, and that meant I was not going to be able to sleep. So I continued onto the mountain itself, where I had found a good dispersed camping spot, on Google at least. And the road up there was actually pretty sweet, with a cool view of the mountain. The path up there was super rocky and super sharp, so I was definitely being really careful all the way up. But it was definitely worth it at the end, because the camp spot that I found was pretty primo. Yeah, no ASMR cooking today. I guess ASMR fire creation, which was pretty sweet considering I haven't had a campfire this whole journey. And it was pretty dang majestic, to say the least. Well guys, if you made it this far, I had some incredible sleep here. It really felt like a fairy tale forest or something. I didn't film it in the last episode, but I had a fantastic neighbor. And this is Misha. Literally a wolf dog. How cool is that? I want one in my life ASAP.
I just came to say goodbye.
And more importantly, I'd like to introduce you to Marco, El Gitano. Marco was super dope. He speaks Spanish and told me about some legendary water that comes from Mt.Shasta that people pretty much worship. So I had to check that out.
This is big ants out here. I don't know what day we're on. It's just all kind of unreal. There's bugs everywhere. This place is super cool though. We're gonna continue onward. This is gonna be our last day in California, and it's been wild. We've been all over. I'm excited to go into Oregon though. For now, I've accepted another side quest, so we're gonna go do a side quest real quick, and then I need to go to like Starbucks or any coffee shop that has outlets, because it seems like a lot of the Starbucks don't, which is frustrating. Like they have them, but they're like blocked off, you know? Terrible. We're gonna go to some abandoned hot springs today. It's about 6 hours of riding. It was gonna be 7, but I had to do another hour to get here, so, you know, pros and cons, right? It's so nice here though. The weather's perfect. I actually got a good night's sleep for the first time. As good of a sleep I can get on a sleeping pad. Yesterday I was not doing good. I was so tired. So today should hopefully be easier. So let's hit it.
Nice.
The location of this legendary water is actually the city's main park, which is super cool.
Yeah, I messed up. I think it's further down.
After finding the right spot, I continued onward and definitely got some strange looks, as I usually do. Then talked to this guy who had further side quests, but I just did not have the time for that.
Hey, usal.
After feeling fully rejuvenated, I headed back to the bike and encountered some really cool hippies.
How you doing?
Aloha. You from Hawaii?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
They sent a bunch of good energy my way and also gave my bike an official name, which was Chica. After that side quest, everything felt weird on a spiritual level, and I felt like this cloud was following me. I continued on and ended up in Klamath Falls, where I found a Starbucks with outlets and forgot how to act. After charging up, I continued towards the hot spring. I had about 3 hours-ish of riding, which didn't make sense because it was only like 100 miles or something. The road up there was pretty windy and honestly pretty uneventful. I did end up finding this little lake on the way there that was full of some weird looking birds. And then I managed to get onto the off-road trail and almost lost control because there's deep gravel patches in random areas. After about 45 minutes, I had arrived to the main hot spring.
Holy.
I found the campsites and got all settled in. After dinner, I made my way to one of the more hidden hot springs, which was super magical, and I wish I had gotten more footage of. But anyways, guys, that concludes this episode.
It was so windy last night. I don't even know what else to say. I'm tired. I'm pretty tired, but we gotta get going.
Woke up to some nice wildfire smoke. I have no idea where it is. I have no service out here. My neighbors left, so hopefully I'm gonna be okay. This road's gonna suck because it's just super deep gravel in random spots and just terrible. I don't know. I'm not gonna have a good time, but we're gonna take it slow and just get out of here. And then I have no GPS, but I kind of remember how to get here. It wasn't that complicated, so I think I'll be good too. I just want to get back into a major city first because it's like my ritual to like ride for a couple hours and then stop at a coffee shop and then upload, or like usually I've been doing thumbnails and setting up these videos to Premiere in the morning. So hope you guys are enjoying them because I'm putting a lot of effort into doing this along with everything else. Our next stop is actually going to be some hot springs again, but apparently really cool ones. But there's supposed to be a fire like right there, but everyone's telling me like it's fine. You're not gonna burn alive, and I don't know if I want to find out. You know, like that's just it's kind of risky, but I think it's worth the risk. I don't know. Well, I'm tired of breathing in this smoky air, so I'm ready to go. So follow me along for the journey. So I accidentally had my Insta360 in Starlapse mode, which means the images were just a blank white screen. This is a pretty accurate reenactment, though, of what occurred along my my path on the way to civilization. Civilization. These are only like 50 cents. Today's ride will be consisting of about 6 hours worth of riding, 270 miles or 435 kilometers. And to start off, we're gonna head to Crater Lake.
That's what I'm talking about.
I made it to some random cafe. Met a cool guy named Robert, I believe, who just finished the Oregon BDR at the age of 60. Absolute legend. But when I left, I was greeted with my worst nightmare. I really thought it was all over. There was no way I was going to be able to easily fix this if I needed a whole new ECU. But then I turned the key on and off, and then the bike started, and then I was back on my way. I forgot to mention, I took a side quest the day prior, so we were making a quick detour. Google Maps took me on some weird routes, but, you know, eventually I made it.
Probably should have taken my jacket off. I didn't realize it was gonna be this far. This forest is enchanted. Look at this shit. Dude, how cool is that? I'm about to just drink straight from here. Like, what a freaking honor.
I met another random guy on the trail who was also pretty baffled by the headwaters.
Boy, that is probably as pure as you can get. So did you find out if your bike's going to start?
No, I will right now.
You will.
It should start. If not, I have another ring, and if it doesn't start with the new ring, then we're gonna have problems. When I stopped at a Starbucks, some lady told me about this place. I forgot her name, so I'm sorry about that, but thank you for letting me experience this place. And if I have diarrhea later, you know, I know who to blame.
Yeah, you're all set. Have a good day.
I met an older couple that told me about a hike that takes you to the water where you can swim, and immediately went on my way there. When I arrived, I found out that people actually plan to do this hike and that it's extremely steep. I don't have hiking boots. I got $5 Walmart sandals. I don't have a nice hiking backpack. I have a cheap Amazon motorcycle tank bag that comes with a strap and a water bladder from China. But it didn't matter. I was committed.
Crazy. I was screaming when I got here earlier. You're not the only one.
I'm like,
My calves were starting to burn, and I thought it would be more efficient if I ran down the whole way. Once I made it to the bottom, I was extremely excited to swim in this crispy water. This place was so beautiful, and I was so happy that I had the pleasure of being here. I enjoyed the ice cold water for a while, but had to head out, which was not going to be fun with the extreme incline ahead. Fun fact, the hike back up is the equivalent of walking up 65 flights of stairs, and I was determined to do it without stopping. I would be lying if I said the incline wasn't starting to take a toll on me, but I was determined.
I have not stopped. I will not stop.
At this point, I was pretty dang tired, and then I started driving through what I thought was the forest fire I had been warned about. It was honestly beautiful in its own way, and I was worried for a bit, but the smoke was starting to go away. My worry was quickly coming back with the amount of roads that were blocked off.
How you doing? One sec. So I'm screwed, right? Yeah.
yeah, so this whole area is closed. So we're about right here. So everything in red is closed. So it's up until like Diamond Lake.
The more information that I learned, the more I realized I had made a massive mistake. In a situation like this, all you can do is continue on and figure out what's next. I was genuinely a little worried at first, but trusting the journey and trusting in yourself really does go a long way. After about an hour, I saw a car turn down a dirt road, and it gave me hope for a campground. I was feeling alone and hopeless, and that's when I met Sean.
How you doing? Sorry, sorry, one sec. Is this BLM land?
Yeah.
Are these like campsites?
No. I'm gonna camp here.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
I'm like, well, this looks flat. It's even got a porta potty. I was like, might as well set up here. I was just checking it out. I mean, I used to work for the BLM.
Okay.
And we used to have like surveys up here. And then a while back I came and I'm like, fuck, it's all gone. I used to look for spotted owls in here. They're fucking dead.
With Sean's reassuring words, I felt at ease. We had a great conversation, and I attempted to cook a grilled bagel cheese sandwich and film it, but clearly that didn't go well. I'm in the burned down forest right now. The new homie has left. He has departed in the Subaru. I don't know what my plans are for today because my plans were ruined yesterday. So I don't know, I'm just gonna go to a coffee shop and then figure out what's next on the agenda. Finally got an Airbnb for the weekend so I can edit these videos that you're gonna see. I mean, when you're seeing them right now, crazy. The sun looks wild. It's just nice, bright and red. It's so weird being in the burned down forest. It's definitely a unique experience, you know? We got old Chica running good. Actually, I haven't started it this morning, so can't confirm that yet, but most likely. I'm pretty tired of being in the smoke though. So I'm ready to go breathe like fresh air that's not full of smoke. Crazy. So at this point, I'm not really sure where I am. I didn't have any service and literally pulled onto a random road in camp, so we're just gonna go back to the main road first and then figure it out from there.
Wait for cross traffic and then you can go out. Go in the far corner.
Also, sorry about the camera quality. At the time, I hadn't noticed that there were generations of insects on the camera lens. So I'll figure that out later in the video. You'll figure it out. Once I was finally out of the smoke and had service, I guesstimate I was somewhere around Glide, Oregon, and was on my way to Eugene, where the Airbnb was, which was only an hour and a half away and roughly 85 miles. I know a lot of you were asking for a total mile counter from where I started, so here it is. I have roughly traveled about 2,710 miles so far, and that doesn't include all the small stuff I've rode to, just the major destinations, so that number is higher for sure. I made it into Eugene, and it was a pleasant change to be in a city again. I had time to kill before going to my Airbnb, so I explored a bit. I decided to go into a store for a literal minute, and when I returned, someone had stolen my tank bag. It was about 3 p.m. on a Friday. I had just been robbed, but little did this punk know he was messing with the detective. I started by searching the area, looking in the alleys. Usually these thieves stay local. I learned this from being a detective in Arizona. After a little bit of digging, I found what looked like to be a local hangout, and I was determined to ask some questions.
Where's that? Where do I?
Go follow this up to the road and turn left, and you can go see a Dollar Tree on the left, after the Beltline Bridge. And behind there.
On the other side of Beltline.
Okay.
So behind
Like right across from McDonald's.
That's the navigation center. Everybody back there.
Like a shelter.
Okay.
That's where.
Alright. Cool, I
Ever
appreciate
since
you
they opened
guys.
that thing.
These people were good people, and they led me in the right direction of a hot spot. I found an officer of the law and told him about my situation, but he was of no help.
We're actually currently we have a custody in the car right now dealing with something.
It's just like, is there an area that people go to here?
I'm not around here, this backside here.
Okay.
The navigation center.
That's twice now. I was told that the navigation center was the place to go, so I made my way there. When I got there, I asked around, and of course, no one had seen a damn thing. I had dedicated 1 hour to try and find my bag, and that time had run out. I couldn't believe it, that I'd let that perp get away with it. And I kept on riding, sulking in my own thoughts, upset, angry. All I could think about was me losing my bag, my poor bag. And then, when I thought it couldn't get worse, I ran out of gas. Again! I let the anger take over me to the point where I completely forgot that I needed gas. And now, I just felt dumb. Not even a minute later, my faith in humanity was restored.
I do have a gas can. Hell yeah! You're a legend!
It's my pleasure to introduce you to Memory. She rides motorcycles and does social media stuff on Instagram, so check her out. She's an absolute legend for this, and I really appreciate her. The funniest part about all this was that I was only half a mile away from the Airbnb that I was going to be staying at.
Into it. Awesome, thanks again.
Right, Sam?
Thanks, you too. Gave me a cookie too. Fucking legend. Will this poor bike start after I have abused this fuel pump several times now? Yes, she will. Oh man, life is crazy.
I finally had arrived at my castle, fit for a trailer park king. Guys, I've been waiting for this exact moment for longer than you can imagine. Alright guys, so this is the part of the journey where I started to get a little worn out. Traveling during the week and trying to edit 5 videos in 2 days was not a recipe for success, to say the least. With me trying to cram all the editing in, I started to get a little sloppy and forgot to do essential things like do laundry and charge my camera equipment. I also realized that my rear tire was wearing out about twice as fast as I initially planned, so with that, I was on my way to Portland, Oregon, and didn't really have a plan after that. It started to sprinkle, and very quickly it started raining pretty good because, yeah, it's the Pacific Northwest, obviously. I continued on slowly, getting soaking wet in the process until I made it to the nearest cycle gear where the employees were awesome and really helped me out, as well as suggested a really cool place to camp. In a matter of no time, I had a new rear tire and then hit a laundromat in an attempt to get caught up on everything. I know this video is a bit different from the norm, but I think it is important to show the realities of a journey like this. And the reality was that the negative things in the journey were catching up to me. I had set aside extra money for emergencies, and after getting that rear tire, I had realized how over budget I was from fixing mistakes that I had made along the way, as well as getting some stuff stolen, getting behind on editing, and now riding in the rain. It was all putting me down a little bit, for sure. I always try my best to see the good in things, but just like everyone else, I'm human. Once I started getting out of the city and into the wild again, my mood did change as it just became more and more beautiful. I continued down this dirt road for a while to a campsite that one of the people at Cycle Gear suggested, and I was not disappointed, to say the least. This place was so unreal, and I started setting up camp, and very shortly after, I found out that all my batteries were dead. I did make some ramen though. I decided to take this day as a defeat and try to make the most of it the next day. After some cold and damp sleep, I set off to civilization so I could charge my camera batteries, and with some sunlight out and this beautiful forest as a backdrop, I was pretty excited to see more of Oregon. I ended up passing through Tillamook, where they make dairy products, and was greeted with the coast of Oregon, which I had a really hard time taking my eyes off of. The plan for today was to make it up the coast of Oregon to Astoria, where I would charge up as much stuff as I could and then make my way into Washington so I could attempt to see Mount Rainier and also camp there. After charging up, I was greeted with more rain and soon got to the border of Oregon and Washington, where I had to cross this super cool bridge. I then met these two guys from Florida that flew out here, rented bikes, and did the Washington BDR. They told me about a wildfire in the area that was supposed to be where I had planned to camp, so like many times before on this trip, I just kind of had to wing it. Would you believe me if I told you that I got rained on again? I was pretty numb at this point, if I'm being honest. As I climbed an elevation and it progressively got colder, I managed to find a pretty cool camping spot. As beautiful as this place was, I was wet, cold, and hungry, so I decided to call it early, only to discover all of my camping gear was wet inside and out, and I felt like a popsicle, but like not a tasty one.
All right, I think we're on day 10. No, 12, 13. I don't really know. I don't know what total days of actual film time we're on. Now the last couple days have been wet, cold, and not very enjoyable to camp in. It's about time for me to pick up the pace. But yeah, it was cold last night. I'm still having a good time. I mean, how can I complain? It's pretty sweet. I didn't get to see Mount Rainier yesterday because it was super foggy. I feel damp, cold, and tired. But I'm gonna get out of here and make my way towards Idaho, and I'm hoping it gets warmer. I don't look at the weather. I just go, and that's what gets me in some of these bad situations. So don't do that if you're doing a trip. Make sure to do more research. I think it's just been going downhill ever since I got robbed in Eugene. It just seemed like everything went downhill, but everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna get through it. It's just part of the journey.
And if I were to redo this, I would probably like allocate all this time and all this money to maybe like one state so that I could have a much more enjoyable like 1 week or 2 weeks. Because I would have liked to explore, like Seattle would have been amazing to explore, or San Francisco would have been amazing to explore, and then go do Usal Beach, and then maybe go do the Washington BDR or the Oregon BDR or whatever it is, and you know, maybe find some people along the way. I don't know. Point is, there will be version 2 of this journey most likely. Anyways, I'm ready to get moving because I'm already cold, and if I start moving and I'm cold, then at least I'm making progress, right? So let's get it going.
I was pleased to find out that the weather had cleared up and that I was able to dry off completely for the first time in days. Picking the pace up meant getting on the highway, which I absolutely despise. I did find another motorcyclist in slower traffic and attempted to have a conversation with earplugs, which went about as well as you would think. I then saw a couple that seemed much more equipped for highway riding. I also stumbled upon a gas station bar. Yeah, you heard that right. It also had the lowest grade fuel I had ever seen in my life, 85 octane. And it was literally the only gas available. It did right though. On this stint of the journey, I wasn't sure exactly where I was heading, but just wanted to make it into Montana where I thought it would be less rainy and easier to camp. I did stop in Spokane, Washington to charge up and to take a break, of course. I will admit, getting to Spokane was pretty boring, and when I got there, I was greeted with traffic, and it was not legal to lane split, so I wasn't the happiest camper. Once I got out of Washington and passed through the panhandle of Idaho, Montana got progressively more beautiful, and I managed to find a really cool camp spot right off of the freeway. Only problem was that it was pretty packed, but luckily I met an American who lived in Australia his entire life and was cool with me setting up my tent near his camper. I do feel bad because I forgot his name, but he was an absolute legend. I then explored a bit and found a big ass tree and then a very peaceful creek. I was excited to try and have a better night's sleep, but found out my tent was still a bit wet. Regardless, it was still better than the previous nights. As I awoke to camping gear that was finally dry, I was also awoken to the fact that my sleeping pad had a puncture in it and I slept on a bunch of rocks. I was pretty beat down by the end of this week, and out of the blue, I got a call from a friend in Idaho telling me to come stay with him. So I started heading for Idaho Falls with some serious excitement to be able to sleep in a bed and a shower. This last stretch would be about 327 miles or 530 kilometers. It got pretty boring once again, but I did end up stopping at a gas station that sold guns, liquor, gas, snacks, and had slot machines. I made sure to sing the Pledge of Allegiance, and then I met a new friend. After saying goodbye, I continued on to the very similar landscape for another 3 hours. Keep in mind though, that I have at least 70 hours of riding time on the bike, so I was running out of podcasts and music that interest me. So when I saw my exit for Idaho Falls, I was beyond excited. We're about to go on the most epic adventure of this entire trip. I don't think I will be able to beat this. This is the greatest thing you will have ever seen in Idaho. But first, this bike needs an oil change. Shout out Cody for letting me use his garage out here in Idaho Falls. Wow, she's getting some love. 5,000 miles. She needs that oil change. But let's get it. First, we needed to get some supplies. Get in the zone! With supplies in hand, it was time to do an oil change with a scorching hot bike. Once I was finished, it was time to say goodbye to this very cute dog.
I'll be back. I'm sorry, I gotta leave you with the diaper. No, we don't go out here.
And we were on our way to find Idaho's dirty little secret. For anyone who has never been to Idaho before, this is what it looks like, for the most part. Luckily, I was only about 45 minutes away from our destination.
Oh my God. I think it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
This thing's so sick.
Okay, so you're probably pretty confused right now, so let me explain. I was trying to find something to do in Idaho Falls with no avail. That's when I found this absolute gem. I quickly saw someone post about potato ice cream and I was sold.
It smells like potatoes. How you doing? Good. I've come a long way to see this potato.
After exploring the gift shop and getting a sticker, it was finally time to see the museum. I got to learn about the history of potatoes, as well as saw a Pringles collection that also had the world's largest Pringle. This place continued to impress me with the amount of random potato things that it had. I don't know what that is supposed to be, but I want it. This was when I found something disturbing. Help!
To our home. I'm Bud the Spud. This is my wife, Katie Patty. And our youngest, Peter Tom.
Damn.
Whoa, not yet, dear.
They had been keeping this poor family hostage in a cellar for years. I was trying to think of the best way to help them escape. But then I saw a VR headset. After exploring all the torture weapons used on my newly found potato friends, I thought it was about time to complete my mission for potato ice cream.
Way too excited to be here. Ice cream? Potato ice cream?
We don't have any potato ice cream.
We have ice cream, there's no potato.
There's like potato flakes in it.
After finding out the ice cream just had potato flakes in it, I was a little hurt, but it was alright.
I was so hungry I forgot to film I got a baked potato and tater tots and I ate them before I filmed them. I was so hungry, but this is what I came here for. I thought this was gonna be potato ice cream, but apparently it's just ice cream with potato in it, and I got huckleberry, so I'm pretty excited for that. This has been a trip. You should definitely come to the Idaho Potato Museum. This is fantastic. It's just perfect. Everything about it.
Ice cream was definitely a 3 out of 5 for sure. If that, maybe less. I don't know. It wasn't that good.
I consumed a lot of potatoes. It's 100 degrees too. I don't know. I was gonna go to some hot springs. I don't feel like that anymore. This was a weird, interesting choice to do before hot springs. Don't recommend. I'm gonna go check out a thrift store or something. I don't know. I need some AC.
After checking out some thrift stores, I started heading back, but this time took more side roads and got to see a little bit more interesting parts of Idaho. Oh, and if you were wondering, I went pretty ham at the old thrift stores.
I'm a trendsetter. Okay. Let go.
On today's ride, we were going to make a long stretch of 9 hours of riding time to go about 600 miles or 965 kilometers. Some of you might notice that I would be passing very close to Yellowstone, and you would be correct. I did end up going to Yellowstone with my friend Cody, but didn't really want to film it and just wanted to enjoy it and spend time with a friend I hadn't seen in a long time. I do really want to say thank you one more time to my friend Cody and his awesome girlfriend and their really amazing little dog for having me, and I appreciate them so much. I really needed that recharge because I was not doing too good after my air mattress popped. So shout out to them. They're absolute legends. Anyways, I continued on and got to see some really spectacular views for a couple hours before getting to the boring side of Montana, and this is exactly what it looked like for a solid 6 hours. After just spacing out for hours of riding, I finally made it to Denver, Colorado, where I grew up for most of my life, which meant I had a lot of resources here and decided to stay for 3 weeks and recover a bit. I also had no desire to go back to Phoenix where it was 115 degrees. I ended up working for the time that I was there at a friend's business and definitely became Employee of the Month, according to me. One of my favorite things in the world is live music, so I have plenty of time to enjoy that. After saving some money, staying out of the heat, and some shenanigans, it was finally time for me to go home. This leg of the journey was about 820 miles or 1,320 kilometers. It usually takes about 13 to 14 hours depending on traffic. I was going to see how long I could go for and unfortunately had a late start, but it was all good. What was not good were my lens protectors that were really scratched, but I didn't notice till later, so sorry about that. It does suck though because I really like this drive and wanted to share it with all of you, but it is what it is. On this path, I get to follow the Colorado River through the Rocky Mountains and then go through Moab, which is always cool. Usually I would be more inclined to stop, but this time, after being gone away from home for almost 2 months, I was just ready to get back. We're out here in Utah. I've made it many miles. We're over, or we gotta be like 6,000 miles or something. But slowly I've been transforming over here. I don't know if you guys can tell. The adventure's been giving me a look. I have also slowly stopped caring about filming in public, which is always fun. But I just, honestly guys, I've been getting really tired, really exhausted over here. And that's why I haven't been filming as much, because I'm just like tired and I'm just ready to go home. So I mean, after 6,000 plus miles, it takes a toll on you. So we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna try to make this 14-hour trip, but I don't think I'm gonna make it. I think I'll make it like 11 hours, hopefully. At least that's the goal. So we'll find out. But it's beautiful out here. If you guys haven't been to the southwestern part of the United States, I really do recommend it. Living anywhere can make you kind of numb to your surroundings, so making this trip back after being gone for so long really made me appreciate this cowboy western background just a little bit more than I usually do. Seeing a sunset in this area also is a fantastic experience that I luckily have had the pleasure of having many times. After riding till about 1 in the morning, I had to call it quits and stayed in a motel that luckily wasn't disgusting this time. What was even better was that I was less than 2 hours away from being home. What was not so great was that it was still 115. The closer I got to home, the more excited I was. as everyone close to me really supported me along and before this journey even started, and I was really excited to show them that I had done it. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all at the next one.